This morning, I have the honor of hosting, I dare say, a professor of logistics, transportation and logistics from the Lagos State University. He is a professor of repute who's been involved in the planning and structuring or developing the structural plan for road networks and other issues that have to do with Lagos State. His name is Professor Samuel Gbadebo Odewumi. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning. Nice to be here.
Thank you for giving us this time to be here again today. It's been about 5 months since we spoke. I last spoke to you in January. I think the first or second week in January. How have you been since then?
I've been great. It's been great. So we've been doing well. Thank you very much.
I see the engagement you've been having with government on subsidy, proposing different solutions and talking about the points, the potholes on the way that government should look out for in order to make subsidy work out well. So far, let's look at that briefly. So far, I remember also that in January when we spoke, we touched on subsidy briefly, and you spoke about how we don't need money. I mean, you just talked about how you said we shouldn't even go think of bringing buses to share because there have been previous failed attempts at that. So we just increase salaries. Did you speak to the Labour Party that made them request for 200%? Is it 200,000 naira wage, minimum wage?
Well, for the Labour to request 200,000 minimum wage,
yes,
it is in the nature of Labour. So it's a negotiation. If you have been to an Hausa market, something that is 10,000, they will say it is 100,000. So it is for you to bring it down and tell them what you will pay. So I think it's a legitimate negotiation tactics by Labour. There is nothing strange about it. Government is aware, and the Labour is aware that they won't get the 200,000, but at least they will get something better than what they are earning before. That's as far as that is concerned.
Okay. All right. And as far as it concerns transportation in Lagos, let's look backtrack a bit. The 5-year plan, the transport plan network that we have for Lagos that was due for review. Has the review started? Has anything been done about it, particularly knowing that we're in an election year?
It's very painful to me personally. I know I told you we participated in the drafting of the policy.
Yes.
And it was on the table when Dr. Frederick Oladende came. We were hopeful that he will activate the policy. Anytime I have an interaction with him, I ask him, say they are trying to tweak, adjust the policy here and there. And up till the last moment that the council, the executive, the governor dissolved the commissioners and the team. I mean, he was promising that he has been taking it to the council and that the council will do it next month. Well, maybe because he's not really a grand troop politician, he could not push it through for reasons that I cannot fathom. Because you see, I keep telling them the same thing for the national policy on transportation. You cannot get, it's not a Quranic document. Once you roll it out, you can still continue to tweak it. But not to have anything at all is flying blind. That is what is happening to our transportation system. When you, it irritates me to think that no matter how rickety a document is, we don't even have a document to critique. And it's not that this document has not been written. It has been written and gathering dust for more than 5 years. So for me, it is a bit of agony, but I hope that whoever comes in now as Commissioner for Transport will get that out. We are still putting pressure on the federal level through the Chartered Institute of Transport Administration that I belong, and I'm even the chairman of the road committee of the Chartered Institute. So we are doing that. And on the subsidy, you know, I told you the best thing is to remove it. And all this talk about palliatives, is, if you know even the meaning of the word palliative, it means it's not really a medicine. People tried all sorts of things like that in the past. Let us not waste time. Let all Nigerians know that there are no pain-free way of getting out of this quagmire. It's like you are having typhoid, you are having malaria, you need an injection. Take your injection and get out of it. Go through the pain. Within 6 months, we will notice the difference immediately. But to keep inside the hole, the quagmire, because we don't want the injection, it's not the best way to go. So the government has taken the bull by the horn. The president has bited the bullet, and we hope, in the next 6 months, I promise to Nigerians, personally, I know things will take shape.
And talking about things taking shape, let's come back to the transport sector. Now, the Nigerian road network or management is a bit complex, because in one breath you're told this road is not for us, it's for federal government. Then you're also told, well, we do our part as the state, but those roads are for local government, and we give local government their dues, and they're supposed to be a third tier, they're supposed to do their work, they're not doing it. And I mean, you get all sorts of complaints and excuses on daily basis. Now, what really is going on with road networks? Within these 3 tiers, can this structure, this kind of approach to road management, can it work? Can we get anything good out of it?
To get a view of the ratio, first of all, the local government is the weakest in the link, then followed by state. And let me tell you, that is now the order. The federal government is having just about 10% of the total road length. The state government about 20%. 70% of the road belongs to the local government. That is addressing the issue of structure. You find that will not work in the first place. I mean, there is a problem with that. But about the road itself, I've told you, do you know all the agencies of transportation mode in this country? And I want Nigerians to listen. Rail has Nigerian Railway Authority, and it's carrying just about 2% of Nigerian mobility, even less than 2%, maybe 1%. Then Nigerian Air, that is aviation, that is FAN and NCAA, 2 agencies managing it. It's carrying just about 5% of our mobility. Then water, 2 agencies. NIWA at the national level, LASWA at the Lagos level, even NIMASA at the international waters. 3 for water that is carrying just about maybe 5%, but at least 100% of our international cargo. Then road carries more than 90% of our mobility. There is nobody in charge. No single authority in charge. It doesn't make sense. Let everybody think. You have 90% of your people moving, and there's no. This is why all these Nigerian road workers union, all these unions, they are fighting and killing themselves, because there is a major mix to kill. They are just cashing out on a government, federal, state, local, that has no plan for the road. That is the donkey of your mobility. Please, just reason it out. And they will tell us, because we have said this at every forum that we attend, that, look, have Nigerian Road Authority to take care of the road. They will say they don't want to add another agency, because let me tell you, this agency will make more money than Nigerian Port Authority. It will make, that is, if there is no money there, all those unions will not be fighting to kill themselves. We know how much they are making on a daily basis. So, first of all, that is at the base of all the road crises.
But government, if I could just chime in here a bit, government will tell you that we have a ministry dedicated to roads, Ministry of Roads. I mean, and that is to cater for the roads.
Which ministry? There's no ministry.
Transportation. I mean,
transportation is global.
let's say that.
It's for everybody. It's for everything. So there's nothing for road. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I repeat, it's carrying more than 90% of our mobility. Anything, whether you use air, road, water, you will end up using road. We call it the donkey of all modes of transportation. And that will lead you to the next question that you are likely to ask me. Why are the conditions of road like that? And we say it in Yoruba. Abuke ẹrùn ẹwọ ó ní òkèlè ń wò ẹ̀wò sálẹ̀. Yes, for non-Yoruba speakers, it means you are telling a fairly crippled person or a hunchback that the load you are carrying is tilting. Instead, you are only looking at the load at the top. You did not look at the person that is carrying it. If there is no authority, who is doing the research on the type of materials that we must have on the road? For example, Lagos is terribly, waterlogged up to 90%. We are using bitumen that under pressure when you have too much water underlay. Why Solar shifted to interlocks, concrete interlock. Look at the road, the Oshodi Papa road that Dangote did. I'm telling you, that road will last nothing less than 50 years because it is concrete, and concrete that is supposed to withstand water a lot more than bitumen. Because once you get the underpinning of bitumen soaked with water and you get a heavy traffic on it, it will collapse. So, but let me not jump the gun. The major problem is that the Nigeria road is an orphan agency. Nobody is looking after it. And therefore, besides number one, the document that should guide transportation policy in Nigeria, at the federal and at the state level, is gathering dust. I know some of the reasons why we are having it that way. It is because there is some disagreement between Ministry of Works and Ministry of Transportation. Ministry of Works is the one constructing the road. Ministry of Transportation is the one managing the transportation and management and operations on the road. So because these people, they have their overlap. Anytime they take the policy to the cabinet for approval, the Ministry of Works will say, no, I hope Ministry of Transport will not encroach into my area. And people are protecting their territories. And it's for funding's sake. Because if you are the one that is supposed to do this, and anybody else is doing, the fund will be diverted to that area. So let me return from that area, because that's another vista that could be discussed another day. So for now, the policy has not been, because how can we draft a policy? I was involved at the federal and at the state level for 5 years, and the document is not coming out. By now, we should be doing a review of those documents. So let me
come back to that and talking about this document, because if you say the Ministry of Works and Housing and Ministry of Transportation are having this conflict of interests over a document, that should benefit the entire Nigeria, is that not failure of leadership? Because you remember when the Police Service Commission and the IG were having issues on who has the right to recruit or not, after a while, they started recruitment because the president participated. What is it with roads or transportation in general that leadership appears to be, can we say they are unconcerned, or do we say they lack the understanding? What is the problem at the leadership level?
They lack the understanding that it's a priority. Once they realize that it's a priority, when there was conflict, the recent conflict between the TSS and the EFCC in Lagos, the president intervened. Where you have areas of overlap, it is for the president, but you see, the president does not feel it's important to intervene. So you have it. Bring the document. There is no clarity of thoughts, and there is no clarity of purpose to say, but in terms of the police and the DSS and the EFCC,
the security issues.
Clear. I mean, and it's urgent. You know, there are things that are urgent but not too important. But there are things that are very, very important but not very urgent. It's only good leadership that will spot this is very important, but it's not critically urgent. Like in medicine, we call it chronic and what is the other word for if it chronic disease can kill you, but it will kill you slowly. But acute disease may not kill you like malaria, but it will grip you. So we tend to treat problems that are acute, but not very important. And that's what wastes most of our leaders' time. So because people don't want to rely on professionals to solve such problem, because if you ask me to solve it, merge works and transport. It was Fashola doing most of his time. 90% of his activities is constructing roads. So that's why in the United States, you find that the transport and works, they are together. So if 90% of your work is in road construction, why do you now have to have works that, although they now put housing, they should separate that? So road construction comes to transport. But when Amechi was seated and Fashola was seated in our national summit, I told them, two people should merge. But I know for some administrative reasons and political reasons, they may not merge the two ministries, but have a committee that will overlap. Because your job overlap. There must be people who sit in the middle to be able to take care of those concerns all the time. But, it takes time for such things to... And if the policy had been enunciated, because we have made recommendation in that area, that would have been taken care of. So this is what we're having. It's an orphan. Nobody is doing anything. Those who are spending money on it are not collecting anything. Those who are not spending a dime on the road are the one collecting. See all those people carrying bombo, that is sticks all over Lagos. Collecting money. Are they putting back in maintaining those roads?
But if I may ask you, who are they collecting the money for?
The unions themselves are it's a huge, humongous amount of money they are collecting and they are eating. That's why they kill themselves in a fight in the unions. There is so much money on the road, and those are the people you see. Those money should be applied back. It's a little bit of it in mending potholes, in doing this and in doing that. So let me allow you to ask that question.
But really, looking at where we are right now, what I meant to say earlier was a Department of Roads, not ministry. We have Department of Roads I believe, in the Transport Ministry, and of course we should have in Works, seeing that a lot of the work they do is on roads. What have this?
You're talking of federal or state, because they have different templates.
Okay, take us through the templates then, please.
Now, for federal, you have Ministry of Transport.
Yes.
That is supposed to sit on is the apex agency that sits on all the modes. Unfortunately, for political reasons again, air was excised from the direct control of Ministry of Transport. And it is wrong. Because, you see, the road, transport, rail, there must be intermodal coordination. When you are planning, you will plan where for example, look at the rail station at Ibadan, or most of the rail stations of the news. You will find out that the road has not been taken to those places. I don't know whether you have gone to Ibadan.
No, I haven't used the rail yet.
This should have been taken together from day one. You have spent so much money to make roads, and you not get to Ibadan terminus. To get to town becomes a World Cup. Let me start from that direction a bit and bring it back to the fact that the ministry at the federal level, Ministry of Transportation as the top, it controls water, rail, and it's not controlling pipeline. Because many people tend to neglect pipeline as one of the most powerful means. For example, all the challenges we are having with all these tanker and trailers, if you get your pipeline working, you will remove all this and take them to Ogere and let the tankers be there collecting the fuel. Let me say it also, let me stop at that. So you have this at the federal level. At the state level, you have Ministry of Transportation that is at the institutional head. But you see, when we were drafting the policy of Lagos State, I was the one that is that headed the institutional framework.
Okay.
Institutional framework is that how we did. I mean, what is the diagram? What is the hierarchy? Transport Ministry at the top. What we observed was that Lamata, all others are under it. Laswa, and Lagos has just very skeletal. They don't have a real unit yet that is strong because they are still doing attachment to federal rail. When their own rail takes off, maybe it may be different. So all the departments, Lamata is the one that we would have said is handling road. Lamata is Lagos State Transport, Metropolitan
Management
Transport Authority. In fact, we also have, say you should extend your authority beyond the metropolis. You can't be planning for Lagos alone, the metropolis alone. So that's another different matter down the road. So that is the only agency that will have been said to be in charge of road, but it's not a road management authority. It's transportation planning authority. It is dealing with the land use matters. How do you take the rail? How do you take the road? Road is not a specific assignment, and it is designing. So, in Lagos State, you can still say there's nobody in charge of road. Lamata is taking let me even say this point quickly. Let Lagos people know. You see, Lamata was at the beginning and up to now is so well stocked because when the World Bank wanted to give Lagos money, they insisted that you must have this level of personnel. You can't just give you money, and because people think transportation is all commerce affair, that anybody can just run it. But the world knows, and the World Bank is aware that you need good quality personnel to run your transport, no matter how much money you have. If you don't have brains, you see, in Nigeria, when we have transportation problem, our solution usually is you throw money at it to construct, and you throw force. Take police, take soldier, take Lasma. Look, those are our mental makeup. We don't know that it is brain that we should throw at it. So the world told Lagos, you need brains. So they brought people like Oladende, people like Mobiriola from Lagos, touch them. Even that is why they told Fashola, you must have places where they are training transport professionals, not all these parts you are bringing in the Ministry of Transport. So they established Ministry of Transport, School of Transport and Logistics in Lasu as a corp to continue to be supplying the middle level manpower to man the place. So for now, giving you the shape, nobody is specifically in charge
of roads.
LASMA is in charge of traffic management of the road, and Lamata is for the planning. But that you have an authority overseeing the whole process. No.
All right. Now, with all this said, you've actually taken us to a different area now.
It is LASWA. There's an authority for water. But there is no specific authority for the road.
For roads, you hinted that. But for me now, we were meant to just dovetail of bring everything down, narrow down to road construction and everything. But with this revelations, I'll call it, that you're giving this morning, it's even a lot more worrying. We might need to do like multiple layers of this interview to really understand, because until Nigerians until Nigerians understand what they wouldn't know what to demand, they'll just be saying we wouldn't know where to channel our energy. But we will come back to this road, this whole structure, which has already shown we have a problem. Looking at Lagos the way it is now, rains are coming. And of course, Lagos is growing rapidly. Income is ballooning. Many more people are coming into Lagos because, of course, there are opportunities in Lagos compared to other states. But really, when it comes to development, is that all it takes?
Security.
Yeah, exactly. Is that all it takes to say a city is developed? Can we really look at Lagos and say Lagos is a developed city?
You can only say it's developing. And whenever you have somebody with big head, you have big headache. So Lagos, in fact, we normally joke that it's not a joke. Lagos is the laboratory of all transport problems in Nigeria. There is no type of, that's why the School of Transport, we don't go anywhere for field work. Lagos is enough to give us a problem laboratory. So is it water that you won't have? Is it air? Is it road? Is it pipeline? Is it rail? You have all of them. Yeah. So you see, Lagos is developing, and that is the real problem. Lagos has to the ministries in Lagos over time have developed capacity to grow. I must confess, and this is why many states in Nigeria are coming to Lagos to learn. Because actually, when you have problem, you'll be pushed to solve it. Yeah. You could discover that Sanwo-Olu made transport issues the first two items of his theme: transportation and traffic management. For a governor to identify those two is that because the socio-economic activities of Lagos cannot function until you get people moving.
And based on what you said now, the theme agenda, you said transport and traffic management. That is a laudable idea. But in your professional capacity as somebody that plays in this space, how have we done with that? Has that been successful? Looking at the number of potholes we have, the perennial issues we have with rain, traffic, insecurity in traffic, and all that, how would you describe where we are right now as a state?
I will talk to you about the rain and some of the issues. If I forget, please remind me.
All right, sir.
That is why where are things getting bad? But let me come back to the theme agenda. For me, the first thing I give thumbs up for the governor is ability to recognize a problem.
Okay.
Recognize that transportation is going to be key. You see, when you have theme about 4 or 5 agenda and you make an aspect, you double it and you make it number 1. So for me, that recognition is the first thing. Secondly, we tell you that 2 things disrupted Sanwo-Olu's flow.
Okay.
The NSAS and COVID in his first term. Those 2 major disruptions did not allow him to focus as much as we expected. Because for him to have identified, and he has some very, very good people around him, those who are my colleagues and those who know better than me, at least in traffic modeling, Frederick Oladende is one of the best. Salam is one of the best that you can get.
And these all these were trained outside Nigeria, and they worked very well outside Nigeria.
Everybody here, that was the best. It's being used all over the world. Then Dairo has become Commissioner of Transport in Ogun State. Then what's the other guy that was, snatched from abroad? He's now Commissioner of Transport in Edo. So you have the best brains in Lagos that could get it done. Although I complained when we had World Bank recess in Abuja about a month ago, that this is another problem. All the big brains that were assembled in Lagos, they poached all of them. It's only Frederick that is remaining. Moberella is gone. Dairo is gone. That other guy that I know. These are the heads.
Could it mean that the state is not doing something right? Because if they're doing something right, will these people leave? Could it be that they are frustrated, that they are not getting the free will to act and cause the transformation that they want?
I don't think it's just frustration. For example, Dairo is being made Commissioner for Transport in Ogun. What can Lagos offer that we... You see, they just drag him and say, come and help us at home. The other guy that went to Benin too was snatched from abroad. They grabbed him. So, you see, the thing is, that is why they said you should have School of Transport, because World Bank knows that once you have big brains in your hand, people will come and snatch them, no matter how much you pay them, because it's not beyond payment. It is just, Dairo, come and serve us in Ogun. this other guy come and serve us in Benin, and this other, almost all the first team, first 11, but realize it's all over the world now. They snatch them. But beyond that, beyond
Prof, we'll need to go in like 2 minutes, but I want us to touch on this road. Why has it been almost impossible to get a pothole-free road? I mean, relatively speaking, where you could drive, because right now, let me just ask that before you come in there, because right now that it's raining, if you get it to a place and you see a puddle, maybe stagnant water, you're scared to get in because you don't know what is under the water. Like you say in Yoruba, there are many more numbers after 7. So you're scared. Why does that happen to us every single time in Lagos?
Well, let me address it at 2 levels, the physical and the human. The physical is that Lagos is generally a low-lying state. The topography is just averagely about 5 meters above sea levels at the highest point. Most of the other areas are below sea level. Although this is not unmanageable, because Netherlands, most of it, I mean, they are below, but they've been able to manage it with dikes and all that. So that is the first reason. Then we were too much into bitumen for our road construction. And I told you there is weakness about, if you see almost all roads that Fashola did that have used cement interlock, they withstand rain a bit better.
Prof, tell me, this is what we'll do. We need to bring you back. Probably tomorrow, if we can snatch you tomorrow to join us tomorrow morning so that we can conclude on this part.
But let me mention this quickly. This is very quickly. There is now an climatic change. The sea level is rising. So Lagos is witnessing an upsurge of water. So we really have to be proactive. So whenever there is this rain, there is flood. The drainages are blocked. That is what we need to the human factor.
All right. So what we'll do, sir, is that if we can join us tomorrow, we'll just move and make sure we have you tomorrow 7:20, so that we can look at what we have to do right now to prevent Lagos from sinking and to give more hope to Nigerians. Probably you've been speaking to them, yes, and they're not listening. If you come on air right now, the message might be better passed.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Professor Odewumi.
It's a duty and it will be my pleasure.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. The Nigerians are grateful as well. Thank you so much, and we look forward to you joining us tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Thank you.